Alright, how's everyone doing? So, we're gonna go over the dual sword warrior. So, what's this warrior all about? Is it any good? Should just stick with it. Why go warrior instead of going gladiator? Well, I'm gonna show you why. So, first things first, this is the same as the other video. The warrior has it's probably it's definitely one of the highest defense classes in the game. It's very, very tanky. Has good attack and HP. The MP is on the low side, and the dual swords are going to be a little more MP intensive, so you're going to feel it more so than you would when on the sword board. But it's just your standard get up close, hit them till they die type of class. And alright, so let's talk about the dual swords in general. So what's interesting is that if you look here, look at the sword, you'll see that Teresa, Lazarel, and Terry can use a sword. You'll see Cesar, he's the only one that can use a great sword. You do the same thing with an axe. You'll see Teresa, Lazarel, Desdemona, they can all use an axe. So it's the same type of deal with the dual swords here. You're not going to get any hero allies that can use it, so it's only for the cousins, and there's only two classes that can use the dual swords, and that is the warrior and the gladiator. So it's just it's a binary choice here, this or that, and it's really going to come down to playstyle. That's really going to be what determines whether or not you go warrior dual swords or gladiator dual swords. So let's look at the abilities here in the proficiency tree. 16 through 20. This is post-game stuff, so you're only going to see 15. Let's go all the way up. So you're going to get 4 abilities here. You're going to start off with these, and then you're going to unlock Frost Fangs and Soaring Slash. Frost Fangs is your most powerful attack on the dual swords. The only thing is you need to get proficiency level 12, and that's when they become very good. It's actually just a pretty crazy attack, to be honest. You just stand there and just freeze everything multiple times. It's pretty crazy. The only issue is, of course, that it has a lot of animation lag on it. It's just a very slow move, but it has good damage, good coverage. In general, the dual swords, they're how should I say, they don't really have, I wouldn't say that they have outstanding abilities, ability moves, special moves. They really have really good normal combo strings. That's where they shine. They're able just to dance all over the screen and put the pressure where they need to. But when it comes to abilities, they're really kind of lackluster. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to level up your proficiency to level 12, and that's when you're going to get your best stuff. Level 10, you're going to get your cold vision. That's just going to have a bigger AoE on it. Nothing really game changing. Soaring Slash, that's nothing there either. So that's alright. I mean, it has a good normal combo string, so you can use that to 12 if you want. I mean, I'm not saying that these aren't good moves. They are. I mean, they're just not as good as other weapons. Alright, so let's do the class now. Alright, so this is the warrior. Again, one of the highest defense in the game. I mean, technically Yangus can, I don't know, definitely one of the highest. You're not going to get any extra stats to your MP. It would have been nice to have. We're also not going to get any extra deafness. We're just going to get HP. strength and defense, but that's fine. We are the warrior class. You just get up there, you know, bash and slash, that type of deal. There's 3 different sections here, so these are only going to be active while you're on the warrior class. The spells and abilities also only going to work on your warrior class. This final one here is the vocations. Bonus stats for all of your classes. You're going to need to go into these on every class that you're going to use, because the cousins have poor natural stat growth. They're going to be they're just going to have less stats at level 99 compared to, you know, Cesar or Desdemona. So they're really reliant on having all these, and they're on all 7 classes. So, I mean, for example, we're at, so my NP's at, you know, 112, and that's with, and it's still pretty average for a warrior class, maybe on the lower side. It's 10 points higher than the martial arts and the gladiator, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's low to average. And that's with all of these extra stats on all the other classes, such as the mage and the priest and the sage. So, and we're, you know, so keep that in mind. You will need to get those. Those should be your first priority, in my opinion. So now let's take a look at these abilities here. Most of this stuff is just standard cookie cutter stuff. You're going to see them on all the characters. However, you will find a couple of abilities littered in here that are going to be, you know, what makes the class stand out. And the first one would be this, of course, better defense boosts. When you have Kabuff active, which you should generally bring somebody along that can do that, you're going to get even more defense. So the warrior is the only class that gets this, and this is what makes it such a tanky defensive powerhouse class. On top of its already high defense and high HP. So that's the first thing. The second thing would be occasional auto block. This is definitely more useful on the sword and board and the axe. The axe is really slow. The sword and board, it's slower somewhat than the dual swords, but the sword and board, you're going to be using a lot of guarding and blocking and that type of play style, so this will help. For here, it's always helpful to have, you know, more mitigation, but the dual swords, you know, we're really going to be dancing around in our ballet of brutal beatdowns, and we're not going to really want to be getting hit, so, you know, it's less impactful on the dual swords version. Alright, so now let's get into the skills. So every class is going to have a set of skills that come with it. These 2 at the bottom here, these are for any weapon type. Again, the warrior has access to 3 weapon types: the dual swords, the OG sword and board, and the axe. So when you learn these abilities, you can use them with your with the appropriate weapon that you have equipped, but with these you can use them with any weapon, so it doesn't matter which weapon you use. You're always going to be able to slot in body slam and morale masher. Alright, let's do the moveset. So the dual swords, they have the ability to just be where you want to be and just lay the damage down, and then just move somewhere else or stay there and just continue the carnage. It's just a really solid moveset. So let's do the and it's going to be hitting twice because, you know, 2 weapons, so 1 button press. Okay, you get the deal. And this is nice because more hits, you're going to have more chances for crits. You know, let's say you hit 1 trillion times, it's going to have 1 trillion more chances for a crit than you would if you just hit once. type of deal. So I mean that's beneficial. But in general, it's just a really swift fighter type class. So all right, so let's do the basic normal string here. So 1, 3, and 4. So all those 2 hits per button press. So it's a 4-hit combo with added fluff. All right, so let's do the charge attack. This one's actually worse than the sword and board. It doesn't move as far, and it's just slower. I'll go ahead and show that. So, I mean, you just move further. It's much faster. It's just, look at that. So, that's definitely worse. For me anyways. Alright, so now let's look at the C2. So that would be this. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a knock up, knock back. Decent forward movement, I suppose. So depending on how high your proficiency is, this can bring you into the air. So you can do that, and in the air you have your standard combo. So it's this right here, 1, 2. You can do this twice, and bring yourself down. So this is going to be one of the core gameplay aspects of the dual blades here. Unlike the sword and board, or even with the axe, it just brings you right back down, like, you know, right beneath you, but you'll do a spin, you know, descending spinning slash. This one actually is a dive bomb with some range on it, and this is very important for the playstyle and how we're going to be using it later. So it's pretty good. So again, this 1, 2, 1, 2, dive bomb. There we are. All right, so let's do the C3. So 1, 2, and here we are. So just a bunch of stabs and one powerful thrust. It's just a move. That's how I would describe it. Just a move. We're going to be using other stuff. Nothing really special about it. Alright, so this is the bread and butter move for the dual swords, and it's this one here, the C4. Look at that. Alright, so you got 2 hops and a finisher. This will increase when you get your proficiency. Right there. So at level 8. And then it'll look something like this. There you go. Just dancing all over the place. So this is, you know, the strength of the dual swords. You're really just going to be all over the screen, much like Sorrow is. You're just not as good. But then again, nobody's as good as Sorrow. So, but you're still really good. So I mean, you can rely on your normal combos and do quite well. Lots of movement, lots of damage, lots of hits. So it's pretty good. And this is nice because once you blow through your MP, you can always fall back on this, or you could just use it if you want to. It doesn't matter. All right, so let's look at the warrior specific abilities for the dual swords here. Alright, so first off, let's go over Morale Masher. This does not do any damage, but what it does is that it dispels the enemy's buffs. So let's say we were fighting a slime here, and the slime is going to do attack up. It's going to start glowing red, and then it's going to do some special attacks, go into like a rage mode type of thing, and do a lot of damage. But since you're a warrior, you just walk in there and you're like, nope, not today. You're going to dispel them. You may even interrupt them, maybe get a stagger, and then you just punish them. show him who's boss. Again, the morale masher, it's quite good. I mean, there's going to be times in the game when you wish you had it, but again, you need to be on the warrior, and you also need to have it on your bar, which means you're only going to have 3 abilities for the most part, because morale masher's just it's just useless. Doesn't do any damage or anything. So, I mean, if the stars align, and it's, you know, it's going to be quite nice, especially some of the crazy endgame enemies who even at, you know, even at this high level 99 can still do tons of damage. So there's that. We also have body slam, so kind of, again, this is a gap closer, combo extender, frame cancel, that type of deal. It's the dual swords gets soaring slash, which is definitely better. You could use it. I mean, I just leave it on the bar. I don't use it too much, but keep in mind it is cheap, and so in that regard, it's good. It's just that it's not as good as it would be on the sword and board warrior. The final skill. Oh, this is all the. Hold on. Alright, yeah. So the third and final skill would be Excalibur, and this really determines whether or not you want to go gladiator or warrior. It's really going to be down to Excalibur and how you like to play. Body slam it's not important. It's not going to be a game changer. It's not going to influence anything. So here we are. Look at that. So it's a single hit projectile. Does above average damage. It's, you know, it's good. It just depends whether or not you want to have this play style. So there we are again. Body slam, morale masher, and Excalibur. Those are the 3 things that the warrior is going to give the dual swords here. So now I'm going to show you. Let's see. I suppose I could. Yeah, let's just show you these. So let's do Frost Fangs. What else? Soaring slash, and yeah, alright. So again, with vision, you're gonna get more AoE once you level up the proficiency. Multi-slash, of course, you'll start with this. 6 MP, it's cheap, does a lot of hits, more chance for crits. Its finisher is gonna hit harder and have more range, so you know these may whiff. The finisher's good. Soaring slash, as you can see here, it's just better than body slam. It does cost 3 more points, but I think it's worth it. It hits 3 times, good damage, good movement, it's rather quick. And the last one would be Frost Fangs. So that's what it would look like until you get level. So at level 4, proficiency 4, that's what you're gonna get. And at level 12, so again, it just does 1, 2, but at level 12, you're gonna get this. Look at that. Pretty crazy. It will freeze enemies, so it's, you know, it has a I mean, the hitbox is a little larger than it's shown, so maybe, I don't know, somewhere around there. Either way, it's a good move. The only issue is that it's just has just a lot of animation on it, and it doesn't really combo into anything or out of anything, and it just kind of, it's just a slog. It just slows down the game for me, so I don't really use it. You can, but Now I'm going to show you what I use on the warrior and why I would go warrior dual swords. So we're gonna rock Excalibur, soaring slash, and let's do body slam. This last one you can do, you know, whatever you want with. So here's the gameplay style, the loop here. So you want to do your combos, maybe move in here, and then you pop up your Excalibur, and you do your dive bomb. So this allows you to, I mean, you have pretty good control. You can almost do a 180 just by itself, almost. But if you really need to do a 180, you just do that, and you can do 360s. That's what you wanted to do. Spin, spin. So, pretty crazy. So the deal with dual sword warrior is precision. You get to be where you need to be. So that would be the opener. And let's see, where is everyone? Let's go see if let's do this. So it just has the ability to be, you know, where it needs to. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna show you some gameplay now. How I would do this one. So you're just able to stay on them. How rude. Wow. This. Alright. Some of these. Let's do some of this. Actually, let's see if I can bring these guys over here. Wow. He knows. He knows. Look at that. So, do this. So you got Excalibur, dash where you need to, do some of this, pop it up again. Some of these. Now that your MP's out, you just start dancing around. So it's pretty good. I mean, now, the only thing, the main difference between the dual swords warrior and the sword and board warrior is that it doesn't really flow well outside of body slam and a multi-slash. So when you're in tension, you're really not gonna have a super strong tension like the sword would. No, don't run away. Neither can I, darling. Alright, so, I mean, it's Excalibur puts you in the air, then you gotta fall back down. So that's not gonna be something you're gonna want to use. Soaring slash, it has a habit of jumping past things. So, probably just gonna want to do.
I hope you're ready for this.
Suppose I can show this. Slash! Alright, so, I mean, that's one of the main drawbacks, I think. But outside of that, if you just want to just lay on the hurt where you need to, you got a lot of mobility. So, I mean, even in tension, you're really just going to have to use these two, but you can do that outside of tension, and so it's, because generally when you're in tension, you just want to throw out all your high-powered spells and abilities in that short amount of time and just do tons of just spike damage and just but Dual Swords really doesn't have that. Again, you would have to change your loadout. I mean, I suppose you could do, I mean, I really don't know what you would do. Cold Fission. I mean, even then, that's kind of, I mean, I suppose you could jump into it, do something like that. I mean, but generally, they're not too expensive, and you can just do that outside. So tension, I mean, I really don't know what you would do in tension. Frost Fangs. Frost Fangs is a lengthy, so you get the deal. What do you want to go over last? Alright, so let's go over the accessories. So first things first, you're going to want to have Dog Collar. You're going to be using a lot of abilities when you're not dancing around. I mean, you're more than welcome to do that. It's quite good. And there's nothing wrong. Good damage, good mobility. But, you know, we're really going to be focusing on the abilities here. So Dog Collar is a good choice. The second one that I'd keep on would be the Raging Ruby. Again, you're going to get 17 deafness, and so that's quite nice. This is going to increase your crit chance. And at the same time, when you crit, you're going to get 25% increased damage to that. So, I mean, if you have a weapon like the dual swords here, everything they do is they're going to be throwing out a lot of hits. So more hits, more crits. So it just seems to, I just think it goes well, because the warrior really doesn't need too much. The last thing would be the Reckless. You're going to be building up tension decently, you know, with the lots of hits. I mean, so the more hits you do and the higher your combo count is, the faster your tension is going to build. So I mean, even with this, we're already doing double the hits on a sword or an axe, something like that. So I mean, you're going to be in tension a lot, and you might as well have that big finisher do some more damage, and you're getting deafness and some extra attack, which is always nice. Again, you know, it's going to be a little more costly with the dual swords here, a Soaring Slash and Excalibur, so that's, you know, 10 for Excalibur. Some of this, maybe reposition some of this. So I mean, you're gonna use your MP much faster than you will on the sword and board. So a good choice for that may be a Prayer Ring, or you can go Sorcerer's Ring. Now the Sorcerer's Ring, I have it equipped on someone else right now. So this is going to give you 30 extra MP, and then the final unlock will be 1 passive MP. So the Prayer Ring is going to give you 5 MP and 11. It's going to give you a 5 MP regeneration and 11 extra MP. The Sorcerer's Ring going to give you 30 extra MP and 1 passive. So I mean, this is also an option. The other one would be, you could go Titan Belt, extra damage to weak points. It's up to you, really. But that's, I mean, I switch them out depending on what I want to do. I suppose you could do a Tough Guy tattoo. Generally, the issue with Tough Guy tattoos is that you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is the moveset good enough and worth it? So on someone like Desdemona, Terry, Carver, Sorrow, Yangus, I mean, yeah, but I mean, do you want to do this? Purely do that, and then, you know, I don't know. It's up to you. So those are the 3 that I'd use, and well, it looks like I'm 29 minutes. Wow. So I'm obviously gonna call it here. So yeah, this is my thoughts on the dual swords warrior. It's not as good as Gladiator, and definitely not as good as a Warrior Sword and Board. So, still fun. Just preference, playstyle. So, you guys take care. I'll see you again.